Hi parents, and welcome to some late night filming with my little shadow here. I'm Regina. I'm a qualified midwife, lactation consultant and mum of 5. I have plenty of professional and personal breastfeeding experience which I love sharing here on my YouTube channel Kindestmilk to support you on your breastfeeding journey so that hopefully you can have a successful and enjoyable breastfeeding journey. I've talked about quite a lot of breastfeeding topics here on my channel already, but so far I haven't made a video on oversupply yet. It's quite a big topic, so I thought I'll make a 2-part video series out of this topic, and we'll cover symptoms and causes of oversupply in part 1 and then treatment approaches in part 2. So when would we talk about an oversupply? You may talk about an oversupply when your breasts are producing more than what your baby needs. So when you are making more milk than what the nutritional needs of your babies are and what your baby can transfer. During the first 6 weeks postpartum, as hormone levels for milk making are very high, it can be quite common for your breasts to make a little more milk than what your baby can take. As hormones settle down and your baby grows, milk production usually regulates and you and your baby settle into a rhythm, your own individual rhythm of supply and demand. However, sometimes that's not happening and that's not the case, and you're continuing to deal with the symptoms of too much milk. So let's look at the symptoms of an overactive milk supply. Some of the symptoms we'll be going through, they can have other causes too, especially if your baby is struggling to latch effectively and not putting on weight appropriately. So only combined with an excessive weight gain is it likely that an overactive milk supply is the cause. Here, just a little note: if you're not sure which type of breastfeeding challenge you're dealing with, it is best to seek help from a lactation consultant or healthcare provider. So what are the symptoms that you may notice in yourself? So you may notice that your baby is not draining your breasts very well, that you're leaking a lot of the time, although leaking in itself it is not always a sign of an overactive milk supply. You may feel full a lot of the time and may even be prone to blocked ducts or recurrent mastitis. Your baby, on the other hand, has to deal with a fast letdown due to that breast fullness, especially at the beginning of the feed, and so you may see them coughing and spluttering, pulling at the breast, losing the latch, or even trying to clamp down in an attempt to control that fast milk flow. Baby probably takes in large volumes of milk with air, which makes them gassy and uncomfortable and spitting up. Baby's stomach fills up with a lot of lactose-rich milk from the start of the feed. Water, lactose and proteins are released into the milk ducts during a letdown before later on during the feed the fat travels down the pipe-like system. So whilst they will receive adequate calories, they may not feel satisfied and full because they will have received relatively little fat, and also appetite regulating hormones increase towards the end of a feed. So in this situation, although your baby is taking in lots of milk and having plenty of wet and dirty nappies, putting on lots of weight, they may want to feed constantly and be fussy between feeds. Additionally, although human infants are designed to deal with the high lactose content in human milk, a lactose overload can be hard to digest, resulting in explosive and frothy poos. Before we look at ways of down-regulating milk supply in the second part of this 2-parts video series, let's see what may cause an oversupply in the first place. One of the most common causes of an oversupply is a premature use of an electric breast pump, especially. So early frequent use of a breast pump or a passive milk collector additionally to breastfeeding is stimulating your breasts additionally to your baby, and so your body is not only getting the milk order from the baby but from the pump as well. Then you may be reacting to a galactagogue, which is either a herbal supplement you're taking to boost milk supply, or you may be on prescription medication that have as a side effect the release of milk making hormones. So if you think that may be the case, speak to your doctor about any medication that you may be on, whether that can be adjusted so that you're not overproducing. You may have an underlying health or hormonal issue that may cause you to overproduce milk. Again, in that case, speak to your doctor whether that may be the reason and get a blood test to get hormonal levels checked. Last but not least, the cause of your oversupply may remain unexplained or may simply be due to a larger tissue capacity. If you find that you may be dealing with an oversupply, like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you can keep an eye out for the second part of this video series. Otherwise, until next time, hope your breastfeeding journey is going well. Good night.